Thank you for joining me today on Christine's Awesome Things. And today this is going to be growing sweet potatoes 2. You must grow slips first. This is a review of my sweet potato slips. Make sure you watch my video on growing sweet potatoes 1. You must grow sweet potato slips. Today we're going to go over growing our sweet potato slips. First thing, there are 2 ways to grow sweet potatoes. One would be the jar method. The other would be the soil method. I don't really like the jar method personally because it's always a hit or miss. And then if you get anything growing, it takes forever for it to grow. For example, this one right here, it is not doing well at all. But I did grow sweet potato slips using the water method to start off with, and then once I had the little slips starting to grow, I transferred it over into soil, and by doing that it caused the sweet potato slips to grow faster. Once I had the potato in the jar, little white stringy roots started growing, and another slip grew by the roots, and that slip sort of looked like this while it was in the water. It was about this size. So I transferred the entire sweet potato into the soil, and it was a long one like this one here. In fact, this is the sweet potato as a matter of fact. And once it was this size here, I turned it slightly over on its side and covered it with soil and left the top part exposed like this one here. And I didn't bury the growing slip all the way in the soil. I just barely covered that and covered up the rest, and this is the result of that sweet potato. Now when your sweet potatoes start growing the slips, it will look like this. This right here is 10 inches. You can actually take the slip off at this point. It needs to be at least between 8 and 10 inches in order to take the slip off the sweet potato. And once you take the slip off the sweet potato, you need to put it in water so the roots can become stronger. Over here, I let these ones grow longer. So if you have time, you can let them grow longer, and planted them in water. And this is how the roots are going with these. And these slips have been in there for about 2 weeks. And even with putting the slips in the water, the slips do continue to grow, as evident from this one here. It is still growing. At this point, I can actually go ahead and put my slips in soil and let them grow, which is what I plan to do, because I have a greenhouse in my basement that I built myself. So on this, I'm going to show you how to take your slips off so that you can put them in water. This is how the sweet potatoes will look. This right here is one of the roots. I actually have, I know you probably can't see it, but a little slip growing on this one as well. I'm just going to go ahead and just cover that back up. Try to make sure that you can see that. All right, so I'm slightly lifting up on this, and right up in here, if you can see, you see a lot of roots right here. You want to make sure that you're grabbing the right slip, and you just kind of use your finger to pull it away from the other slips, and try to get roots as you kind of take your finger and pull it away from the actual sweet potato, going down, feeling for the root, and pull. And as you can see, we have gathered some of the roots and just cover up the other ones and allow those to grow. And then you're just going to place this slip in your jar of water to make sure that your slips become strong. It's okay to pull some of the leaves off. And now we have it in the jar, and we're just going to allow that to root for about 2 to 3 weeks. And then after that, you can go ahead and plant your sweet potatoes in your container or in your yard. I like to angle my slips so that they will grow downward. If you have a trellis, this would be a good length to start it on the trellis and train them to go upward. This one here is a sweet potato that I cut in half. It was a big sweet potato. I cut it in half. Cut it, not in half, but cut about 2.5 inches off of each end and planted it fleshy side down into the soil. And as you can see, slips are growing on that as well. So you don't need the whole sweet potato. You can simply cut off the ends of it about 2.5 inches, plant the fleshy side into your seed starting soil, and it too will grow slips. All right, so this has been Christine of Christine's Awesome Things. Make sure you like and subscribe and check out my other video if you want to learn how to start your own sweet potato slips. Watch part 1, growing sweet potatoes, part 1, you must grow slips first. And that'll be all.